Hi guys, welcome back for another video. Welcome back to the channel, Simply Latrice. My name is Latrice, and here I talk about how we can redefine what retirement is. Retirement is not a one size fits all. Like, we can take control and determine what our retirement will look like. And so today we're busting some of the biggest myths about retirement income that may be keeping you from retiring. If you've ever been told that Social Security is enough or that you should not invest in retirement, stick around because we're setting the record straight. But first, I do ask that you hit that notification bell and that subscribe button. I am 2 views away from hitting 200 subscribers, which is a milestone for me. So I would appreciate the support. But yeah, let's get started. So the number one myth that I had was that Social Security will cover all my expenses. And so I never encountered a retired person. Like, I didn't have access to someone that was retired, that, had gone through the process, that could answer questions for me. And so everything that I knew about retirement was, getting your Social Security. I didn't have, any cousins, aunts, uncles, grandparents, or anyone that was retired. I come from a family that we really had little means, and so everybody just worked. I didn't really have anyone that went through the whole process, and I got some knowledge from them until my mom retired. And I was in my 40s when that happened. And so I always had an idea of this huge amount of money that I would receive once I retired and started to draw from my Social Security. Well, that was a myth for me, because reality check, Social Security was designed to replace only about 40% of your pre-retirement income. And for most people, that is not enough to maintain their lifestyle. So what can you do instead? Find additional streams of income, side hustles, investments, rental properties. There's a whole variety of ways to find additional income streams. Reduce expenses. That may be downsizing or moving to a lower cost area, or you can delay Social Security, and that is waiting until you're age 70 so that you can increase your monthly benefits. So just a little bit more about the Social Security will replace 40% of your pre-retirement income claim. That is based on the Social Security's Administration estimate that on average, Social Security benefits replace about 40% of a worker's pre-retirement income. However, this is often misunderstood, leading to the myth that Social Security alone is enough to retire. So 40% is an average, not a guarantee, right? Your actual replacement rate depends on your lifetime earnings, your retirement age, and benefit calculations. So if you are a high earner, then you will get even less. And then when you add in inflation and rising costs, those things factor into that amount. So people's expenses in retirement, can still be very, I won't say, I think just sometimes people underestimate their expenses in retirement. So many still have mortgages, debt, healthcare costs, and these things exceed what Social Security covers. And for myself, I will have to say that before I retired, I knew enough to try and, get rid of some of my debt. I had my school loans that I had been paying on forever. I followed the process and I was able to get them forgiven. I was able to pay off my car, so I didn't have a car note. And I even had paid off all my credit cards, which I am not in that situation now. So I do have some credit card debt. But, and of course I have my mortgages, but I knew that I needed the additional income for those things. And so that's where I did the vending, right, to increase my money or streams of income, the rental, and now the part-time job. And so I'm hoping that I will be able to create additional streams here soon. The reality is Social Security was never meant to be your sole source of income. But unfortunately, there are a large amount of Americans out there who do have to rely on Social Security in that manner. And myth number 2, I shouldn't invest in retirement. It's too risky. Reality check, while risky investments are not ideal, not investing at all could even be worse due to inflation eating away at our savings. And the reality of, our present situation with the stock market is that we do need to, or we should be thinking about how we can continue to grow some type of an investment account. And so what you can do instead is you can use safer investment options, dividend stocks, bonds, or index bonds. You can keep a mix of cash and investments to balance risk and growth, and consider a financial advisor to help create a low risk income focused portfolio. And so for me, with the part-time job, I want to use some of that additional money to continue to solidify some type of investment account so that I can continue to grow what I have, so that I can remain independent and not have to go back to worrying about jumping back into the mix of salaried positions, working myself crazy, and not the luxury of a part-time job, working a few days a week, if that's what I choose to do. And that brings us to myth 3. I need $1 million to retire comfortably. Well, once again, like I said, I never experienced or had the knowledge of knowing anyone that retired. And for myself, when I would read things, that was a number or $500,000, and looking at my investment account with that number in mind, I was like, I'm never going to be able to retire. So, reality check. While $1 million sounds nice, it's not a magic number. Your lifestyle, location, and expenses matter more than the total amount. What you can do instead, calculate your personal retirement needs based on your expected expenses. Remember, retirement is not a one-size-fits-all. Use the 4% rule. If you withdraw 4% per year, a smaller nest egg can still last decades. And consider part-time or passive income if needed. All right, myth number 4. Debt is not normal in retirement. And I think, for myself, I thought if I didn't have my mortgage paid off, I could not retire. And I don't know that most people consider a mortgage as debt, but it is. And so if you retire and you still have a mortgage, then you are retiring with debt. Now, what you can do is make sure that you pay off, high interest debt like credit cards. You can refinance loans, or you can move to a lower cost living situation if necessary. But the number one thing is you need to avoid new debt. So buying that luxury vehicle may not be worth it. Now, if you have enough in your investments where you want to dip in and pull out an amount to buy a vehicle, and it doesn't, really cost you a lot of discomfort, then so be it. And so leave a comment if you retired and you still have a mortgage. I'd be interested in knowing. And the fifth myth is I can't earn money in retirement. Once again, I'm thinking, hey, I have to be able to live off of my investment, so that means I need $500,000 or $1 million before I can retire. And that turned out not to be my reality. Well, reality check. Many retirees, we're not too old to work. There are plenty of ways that we can earn extra income without a full-time job or a salaried position. So what you can do is you can start a side hustle. You can invest in passive income sources like rental properties, investments that pay dividends, online businesses, arts and craft. Are you talented and creative individuals out there like Etsy? Like, leverage your skills. There are many options and many companies out there that offer part-time work with benefits. There's still a little bit of remote work floating around there. So as retirees, we can still earn money in retirement. And so that had just been on my mind as I embarked on this journey of working a part-time job. I have to say, I've worked, a 3-day work week. I've worked a 4-day work week. I think I prefer the 3. I'm willing to be flexible. And as long as I can get the time that I need to see my son, to not miss, family functions, I will stick with it. I will have to say, there was a couple of days in there and I was like, well, I don't really need this and I don't want to get up this early. But, reality kicked in. I'm like, hey, this is going to be okay for now. There's some traveling that I want to do, and this most definitely will add to the fun in doing that. And so, yeah, we're just going to hang in there. So now that we've busted these myths, what do you think? Were you believing any of these before today? So drop a comment down below and tell me which one. And if you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any, of my next money saving tips. And as always, I thank you for watching my videos. Remember, your retirement, your rules, and I'll see you in the next video.